Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the peace plan that has been put forth by Egypt. And we're going to compare that to the U.S. plan and just kind of run through them because questions have come in. And the basis of the question is the Egyptian plan better? It has some key advantages, but it also has one piece that's just unaddressed. So we will go through it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Egypt has put forth a plan dealing with the Israeli Palestinian conflict. Okay, as a recap, the U.S. rough sketch is that Hamas has to be combat ineffective to the point that it can't oppose the Palestinian Authority, and the Palestinian Authority asserts control and governance over Gaza. Okay? And then a multinational coalition of the willing that will stand between the two sides and prevent further fighting. Rough sketch of the plan. The Egyptian plan calls for a phased return of captives, and then both Gaza and the West Bank are to be administered by, quote, Palestinian experts, meaning something new, not a faction currently in existence. That's a huge advantage because the Palestinian Authority has lukewarm support. So that is a big advantage. The other thing is because there isn't bad blood between this new entity and Hamas doesn't have to be combat ineffective. They just have to agree to it. It was a safe assumption that Hamas leadership would not be cool with the Palestinian Authority coming in. This is something else. So there's a little bit of hope there. It has one more key advantage, but we'll talk about the thing that's missing. There's no mention of the security concerns. The force to stand between the two sides. Now, that may just be something they're like, yeah, well, we'll deal with that later. Let's get an agreement in place first. Which, I mean, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. But without that, I don't know how it's going to be successful. So even if the plan has key advantages, that still has to be addressed at some point. The other key advantage that the Egyptian plan has over the U.S. plan is that it's not a U.S. plan. It's an Egyptian plan. That in and of itself is a benefit. You have to remember the U.S. doesn't have a great track record. So it may be better received if it's an Egyptian plan. Now, the reporting says that the rough sketch, and I'm sure there are more details than what we know, but that the rough sketch was presented to both sides. And neither one of them were enthusiastic about it, but neither of them were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So that's a starting point. We'll have to wait and see what more information comes out about it and how it develops. But it's hopeful. It's hopeful. They have one thing that they have to, work out in some way, but they overcame a major drawback to the U.S. plan. So I wouldn't count it out simply because it's not the U.S. plan. In some ways, it's better. We would definitely have to wonder who the Palestinian experts would be and how they would be picked. That's a big question there. There's a lot of things that are up in the air because if If it's the U.S. coming in and picking a bunch of Palestinians who the U.S. likes, then yeah, that's not going to work because they're not going to have support. If it's something done by consensus of Palestinian leaders or maybe even an election, I don't know how they would do that given the current situation. I mean, that's something else, but there's an open-ended question there. It's not a bad starting point, and given the fact that neither side just outright rejected it, I mean, that's a good sign. So I don't know that it's better because it seems incomplete, but the parts that are complete seem more doable. But until some of the blanks get filled in, we won't really know. But I wouldn't write this one off yet. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.